Hello and welcome back to the Real Estate Regroup Show. I am your host, LJ Walker. So this is going to be another topic on Section 8. Okay, so right now as we speak, I'm in somewhat of a dilemma myself. One of the properties that I owned that I was hoping to sell to someone because the property was owner financed. That unfortunately fell through, and now the property is back to being my own. So I can either sell it or rent it. The realtor that I spoke to, she said, would I be open to Section 8? As you guys know, with Section 8, if I were to sell it, that would be a huge tax incentive for me. If I were to rent it, then I would be getting some of my money, if not all of my money, from the government to house this particular individual. But it would make me a landlord, which I'm not all that crazy about, especially since it's in another state and not my home state. So I still haven't decided as of yet, but I am looking into it. I am doing my research. So one of the things that I saw that scared the hell out of me, and I had to pause, right, was I've been seeing on Instagram people saying, oh, they're going to get rid of Section 8. Donald Trump is going to do away with it altogether. Well, I did my research because I said, well, if I put somebody in Section 8 there, or if I sell to them, then how am I going to get my money? Because I'm not going to be able to depend on the government to pay me what's owed to me. Because see, even the Section 8 homeowner, right, or someone who is using the voucher to buy a house, they are still getting part of that money from the government. And I'm like, darn, what if we're in the middle of the transaction? It doesn't complete because, Section 8 takes a lot longer than a regular person, and they just cancel on me because, the government has decided that it's not going to go along with the program. Well, I found out that that may be incorrect, because what it actually said when I looked into it further, Donald Trump said that if you are on Section 8 and your relative is from another country, they're not legally here in the United States, then they have the right to take your Section 8 voucher and kick you off of the program. That's what it said. A lot of people are on Section 8. They don't necessarily have someone from a foreign country that they're taking care of. I know some do, but many of them, maybe I'm wrong to say that most don't. I don't think that's the case for everybody. So, and then also, how would they even find out, really? I'm pretty sure that there are ways in which they could, but needless to say, if I were to go that route, of course, I would have to find out, okay, how many people are going to be living with you? Who are they? And then I would have to, of course, start to run background checks on everybody so that this way I'm protected, right? If I were to sell to somebody who is on Section 8, or even rent to someone on Section 8, I would have to find that information out. Now, that's why, a lot of times when you see certain things on Instagram or any social media platform, you got to take it upon yourself to look into it. You need to check other websites. You need to also, your best bet really is to pick up the phone and speak to an attorney. This is why I have prepaid legal, so that somebody can tell me for sure, since it's their field and they are a lawyer, they can tell me for sure, yay or nay. So far, what was on Instagram is somewhat of a half truth, you could say. It's not fully. They're not discontinuing the program, They're only going to throw people off of it if one of the relatives that they have listed, I guess listed under it, or who is being supported by it, is from another country, is an illegal immigrant or a migrant worker. Those are the only people that's going to be kicked off the program. So that just means that those of us who are selling houses, or those of us who are going to be landlords, we got to do a little bit more due diligence in who it is that we're dealing with. That's what that means. Then the other thing is, in part of my research, I found another thing that was interesting. There's a guy on here named Tim Leaks. And what he's saying, I did not research that particular area that he was speaking of, where he was talking about this neighborhood in Texas where they are prohibiting people from Section 8 to live there. That, what he is saying, I'm not sure if it's Texas, but I know that there are other states and other places where, yes, there are neighborhoods where they do not want Section 8 tenants living there. That's definitely a fact. Okay, so as a real estate investor, as a landlord, or somebody who's going to be selling homes, you will need to figure out, especially if that particular neighborhood has an HOA, a homeowners association, you will have to look at the bylaws and see who it is that you can sell the property to, who it is that you can rent the property to. Okay, and according to him, I forgot the amount, but they said that if that particular landlord, for example, is keeping the Section 8 tenant, they are charging them an enormous amount of money per week that they got to pay the HOA. And he also mentioned something else that I do know to be true, is that all states, even though all of them have a Section 8 program, all of them do not protect Section 8, meaning a landlord can say no to you if you have a voucher. They don't have to rent to you. And people don't have to sell their property to you if you are a Section 8 voucher holder. In other states, there's laws to protect them, meaning you cannot, as an investor, you cannot say, no, I'm not going to sell this property to you because you are a Section 8 voucher holder. Or I'm not going to rent out this to you because you have a Section 8 voucher. There are some states where it's illegal. If they have the voucher and they are able to, with the voucher, afford your property, you can't just deny them like that. But there are certain states that will. So where you do have that right. So you do have to be careful. Again, real estate is a state by state situation. As a matter of fact, honestly, it can be a county by county and a district by district situation, because some counties can be one way, where the law is one way, and then the districts in another county is completely different. Sometimes there's more than one district in a county and the laws there differ. So you do have to be extra careful when you are choosing someone who you're going to sell your property to, even more so now than ever before. And number two, you got to be careful who it is that you're going to rent to, because even if the person is honest, even if the person is a good person, because not everybody on Section 8 is bad. Some people on Section 8 are good people, especially now that you do have this new mandate that says if they tear up your property and carrying on, they can lose their voucher. That's one. And number two, if they do damage your property, depending on where you are, the government will pay you for the damages. But normally it's typically a certain amount. Like where I was back when I bought it in 2014, it was $16,000. That was the maximum, honestly, that they would pay you for damages. But yes, again, you could have a good person or you could have a sour person. It really doesn't matter with the Section 8, but what does matter is that you follow the law. And if you don't follow the law correctly, regardless, you can get in trouble. So definitely seek legal counsel. And yes, there are websites like NOLO and what have you that also offer legal advice. And I don't know if you guys have this where you are, but I know here in New York, we do have where we can go downtown to the courts, 26 Federal Plaza, and there's a free law clinic there for real estate. And you can go there and you can ask them any real estate question and they will help you. I don't know if that's in every state, but I know that we have that in New York. Another good resources to go to, no matter where you are, of course, is HUD. They may also know. HUD is Housing Urban Development. And then here we also have HPD, Housing Preservation Development here as well. Those are the avenues that I would go for those of you who want to invest, especially if you are going to be investing out of state. Okay? So guys, that's really all I have for you. That's all I wanted to share. Please feel free to spread this amongst your friends. Remember, each one, reach one, teach one. Bye for now. Until next time, have a good night.